Hi, I'm Java Jim with First Line Equipment, and today we're going to go over some of the repairs on the steam valve for the Ascaso Dream, Arc, and Basic. In front of us, we do have the Ascaso Dream. To access the inside of the machine, we'll be going over that, but also just to note, there's different points that the steam wand or steam valve can leak. One area is right here. You get a leak in here. That'll be an O-ring on the inside that has to be changed, or a gasket inside. You can get leakage in here. You have gaskets right here. Another area is the touch point between the wand and the valve, or the bottom of the valve in here. And then you can also get leakage that possibly can come through the stem that where the knob is located. This can happen on any espresso machine. So when customers do get a leak, we usually ask, where is the leak at? Because there's many different touch points for the leak. Now, to get onto the inside of an Ascaso Dream machine and some of their other models, we do recommend that you empty the reservoir and remove it, but this is a brand new machine, so we don't need to do that. Turn the machine on its backside, and inside here, you will see two screws. These two screws hold the top cover. You'll need a medium to small Phillips head screwdriver, so counterclockwise there, and then the other side. And I'm not removing the screws completely, just enough where the top panel is getting loose. Put the machine right side up, and I will get the screws loosened by finger. Hold the top panel down. Now, while I'm doing this, just to let you know, there's at least 5 different versions of the steam valve for Ascaso across the Dreams, Arcs, and Basic machines. So before ordering the parts, take a look inside to see what you have in your machine. Match it up to the diagrams on our website. And also take a look at our blog to see the part numbers, because you want to make sure you order the right parts the first time. So it's a good idea to take a look inside. So this screw dropped out. The other screw didn't. And the reason is there are extenders inside the body panel. Take this one out. This is going to occur in many cases. And basically I'm going to hand screw this in. I'm going to have a pair of pliers on the side to tighten these. And when you tighten them, don't grip by the edge where the screw goes into. Go in by the middle, that one pop. Let me get these out. Just a little 1/4 to 1/8 of a turn. Like this, the next time you remove the body panel, they usually are not going to come out, so nice and tight there. Inside, you will see the steam valve. And like I said, there's 5, maybe even 6 different versions. One version here has a screw with a stem. Okay, so we have that there. And basically, what we need to do is get the stem out. So if we have a leak in the tip, there's a gasket on the inside. So we're going to unravel this out, and it's probably going to come to a stop. And it's coming to a stop because that little screw inside is holding it. So we're going to use a smaller tip Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to loosen this screw up and continue taking the stem out. In this case, we have a gasket at the end. That's what stops the water and the steam from coming out of the steam tip down here. So if you have a leak here, this one needs to be replaced, or what you can do is take a pick, slightly take it out and reverse it, and it can be reused. If you have a leak from the stem coming out through the valve this way, through the stem, then these 2 O-rings do need to be replaced. Okay, and that's kind of the same on the other versions, except one version, the earlier versions, if you look at the stem, which goes in here, okay, it doesn't have a gasket on the end. This is a metal-to-metal stopper, so the valve that it goes into stops up against the metal, the reason why they went to these gasket versions is because there would be limescale buildup here, and that would deform the brass that you have on here. So as you can see, this one also has a set screw as well. If we move down to these other machines here, this one has a C-clip, which needs to be removed, and then this needs to be backed out, and then inside there's a holding nut. So this is a different version with different gaskets on the inside. And then here's another one that's similar to the first one. And again, just different types of gaskets on the inside of the machine. Now, some customers, after usage, will get a leak that comes from the bottom of the valve. What's really important is to get your pliers and slowly turn the holding nut. Okay, please note the direction that I'm turning it in. It's really important not to over tighten or turn the wrong way, because this holding nut has a screw on the inside. If you tighten this too tight, this screw will break off inside the valve, and then you need to replace the entire valve. There's no way to repair that. Then in here, there's an O-ring. Slide this off, and up in here, there's another O-ring. Okay, so if you have a leakage here, these two O-rings need to be changed or replaced. And again, look at the diagrams, look at your machine, look at our blog where we're going to list some of the part numbers. And then the O-rings go in here. And I always suggest ordering extra, because these will break when placing them on here or the stem. And then we also sell a gel called Petrogel. It's a lubricant, high temperature, food grade, NSF approved. And you want to put the coating over. And then this one goes back on here. Put the gasket in, or the O-ring in. Hand tighten the holding nut, and then grab it with pliers and just an eighth or a quarter of a turn to tighten it up. Now sometimes you might not need a new gasket. Sometimes this just loosens and just needs to be hand tightened, and again, eighth or a quarter of a turn. Once you do change the gaskets, and here the O-rings, to get those on, after removing these, you slide them on from this side of the stem. Little difficult to get on. Get the first one on and then get the second one on. This slot right here, we need to get that in so the screw can work itself into that slot. So about there. Small tip Phillips head screwdriver. Lock that into place. And then to tighten it further in, that works. And then it works where we can't remove the stem out. So the screw is in the correct position. This machine's a little more difficult to take the stem out. So the first step is to try to get the C-clip off, and that will go flying. Don't lose that. And then if we want to take the stem off, I'll just show you because it's not going to come out right now. So it goes in, comes out, stops right there. This one has a holding nut. And this one, basically, you need to take the holding nut off. And this is a very narrow wrench here to get in there. The holding nut comes out. Put the wand back in, or the knob, I'm sorry. Turn this out. And what'll happen is there's a screw tip with the gasket on the end, different set of O-rings, but you'll see that this doesn't look the same as the other one. And sometimes this part will stick on the inside if this loosens up. So we'll put this back in here. Turn around the gasket, replace these. If you've already turned this around, you need to replace the end tip, and then get that back in, actually without the knob, and then insert the holding nut and the C-clip and put it back into place. And that's pretty much it. Just make sure you order the correct parts. Look inside before you order. Do appreciate you watching this video. Hopefully it was very helpful in self-repairing the steam valve and any type of leaks that may occur on the machine. And give us a thumbs up down on the bottom there. Thank you very much.